Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kandy Vandawalker, and I am here today to discuss with you my personal journey with Morgellons. Mine started with what I believe was infection from a series of hepatitis B vaccines that I was administered as a brand new nurse at the age of 23 years old, which is when I began with facial lesions and having some other quite simple symptoms that weren't really too bothersome in the beginning. As time went on, I became very, very ill. As a nurse, I received a flu vaccine every year, assuming that's what I'm supposed to do. And one year I had one that did not take properly in my body and made me very, very ill. After that incident, I never really recovered. I became sicker and sicker as time went on. And by the age of 38, I was barely functioning as a human being. So what happened was, I was misdiagnosed multiple times on multiple occasions by multiple physicians. In the end, all of those wrong diagnoses were ruled out and was determined, in fact, that is not what I had or was what I was suffering. And the last straw was they told me I had a form of carcinoid cancer, and I spent a week in a cancer center having multiple tests. On a Saturday morning, the doctor called me and said, "We were wrong, you don't have cancer, but we don't really know what's wrong with you." So I went home, and for the first 2 days, I literally walked in circles. On the third day, I sat down, and for the first time in my life, I prayed to God with everything that I had, in all my humility. I begged him to spare my life. I told him I was not ready to go. I didn't want to go, and asked him to shed his grace on me. Literally the next day I woke up and found my diagnosis. I found a doctor who took me seriously, and lo and behold, I was diagnosed originally with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, which is what I knew that I had. And so after getting those diagnoses, I went back to the computer and put some information in, and a stranger wrote to me and told me about a form of acupressure and told me that it would save my life. In the meantime, I was suffering severe symptoms related to chronic fatigue, fibro. What I didn't know at the time was also Lyme and Morgellons on top of that. And so I searched locally for somebody that was doing this treatment, and lo and behold, I found a chiropractor 20 minutes from my front door who was in fact doing this treatment. I attended sessions with this practitioner, and within 3 months, all of my symptoms, let me say 98% of my symptoms were resolved. And over a period of 8 months, I lost over 60 pounds. I was at the time very obese, and many other things. So after my recovery, I literally went back to work after not working for many years, and took a second job, saved all my pennies, hopped on a plane and flew to Dallas, Texas, and trained and became a practitioner of the same treatment that saved my life. Because as a nurse, I knew personally what it did for me, and I knew that it worked, and I wanted to be a part of something that actually worked. So I became a practitioner. And in the beginning, I started clearing local people, patients, people who were contacting me, and that's how I began my clearing process. As time went on, I learned about Morgellons and actually became president of Morgellons Research Group, in which we devised a formal team and did some research and some scanning electron microscopy on the crystal hexagons that were being found in environment as well as coming from patients' skin. We did a lot of amazing work. As I was attending the conference in Oregon, which we put on for 5 days, I met a gentleman named Will, who taught me that literally the frequency of everything on the planet lives within the word, and that the word was key. And so after I learned about that fact, and that I had thousands of dollars invested in vials that I really didn't need, I learned that I could devise a free energy healing protocol and give it to people and help them with these symptoms. And so it took me 4 years to convince myself that this was real. that I could literally think the word or speak the word or write the word or use a vial or use the actual item for the muscle testing. And in fact, I got the same answer each time, and I did it thousands of times to convince myself that this was real. And so one day on an April evening, I drove home from work and walked into the house, sat down in front of my computer, and I devised the energy clearing protocol. And so for any of you who are not familiar with this, please type in your search engine in Facebook, Energy Clearing Protocol. Please ask to join. Please follow the simple instructions that I give to you. This is a free, effective, safe, non-invasive, non-medicinal form of acupressure based on quantum science. And there are hundreds of people who can testify that this works, probably thousands globally. This is a form of energy medicine. There are practitioners all over the world that do these treatments on people. I know because I was a patient of one of them, and he literally saved my life. And so I took that process and took it one step further and made it one step simpler with the fact that you literally can use the word to put in the missing frequencies within your personal body and desensitize and detoxify the body, which is a huge part of Morgellons. Detoxification is number one. We all know that. This is basic Morgellons 101 is detox. And so the energy clearing protocol will detox your major organ systems and glands, as well as desensitize you to things that you've become sensitive with or to. So back to the Morgellons information. I've been a sufferer for a very long time, probably 25 years at this stage that I can recall my symptoms starting at the age of 23 after that vaccine. I became deathly ill, literally walking the line of death. I practically lost my life to this nonsense, and so once I became aware of what was happening, how it was happening, and who was responsible, I decided to take a stand and scream out against all of this and try to help other people along the way that were trying to manage down this dark path without any help, because really I didn't have much help in the beginning. I was very much alone, and that's the reason that I've devised both Morgellons and Open Forum, a safe place where people can come and discuss these topics, as well as the energy clearing protocol. So many things in my life have transpired since becoming well. I suffered for many years. It took me many years to understand that I was a targeted individual, that I believe I was literally infected with these Morgellons nanoparticles, and that I was a victim of directed energy weapons technology, and that they brutalized me for a couple of years while I was infected with these nanoparticles, causing me to have severe symptoms. Severe as in joint pain that I could not even stand on my own legs. Fatigue to the point that I would sleep sometimes 18 hours a day and feel like I had never slept. I had brain fog to the point that I literally would forget to flush my toilet or close the refrigerator door. Very simple things. I would forget to eat. I would forget to drink. I was literally a shell of my former self. And so the truth of the matter is, I literally prayed to my Maker in my darkest hour. And the next day my journey began, and that was 10 years ago. So I'm here to tell you that there is hope, there is help. You are not alone. There are many of us here that are all in the same boat. Our families don't understand. Everybody thinks we're crazy. All of these things that are happening to us, and we're trying to scream it from rooftops to get other people to listen. If they have not experienced this themselves, they will never understand what you are explaining to them. That's why I created this safe haven where people can come and discuss amongst other people who are in the same boat, who understand what they're saying, who empathize and have sympathy. And we share protocols and we share information and ideas and things that are making us well. That it was my whole intention of creating this forum. And then, of course, I was able to go on and create the energy clearing protocol, which is basically my entire life's work. Things that I've learned and been able to decipher from the suffering that I've endured, from the questions that I've asked, from the blessings that I've had with the people who have been put in my path, who have brought me mounds and mounds and mounds of information. I'm grateful for the fact that I've been able to decipher the codes, if you will. Sometimes it really feels like that's what I'm doing. But I am honored and I am blessed. And I am so grateful for all of you, for your strength, for your wisdom, for your tenacity, and for your will to live. I have suffered this with myself personally. I know all about it. I was where you are. Please join me. Please join the Energy Clearing Protocol on Facebook. And please contact me anytime, day or night, with any questions or anything that you might have that you need me for. Bless all of you. I love you. This is my first video, and I'm sure that I will be making more. It is a pleasure to meet most of you who I do not know in this forum. And for you that I do know, thank you. Thank you for everything.